This video will demonstrate how to do a bootstrap distribution for the dominant hands data from problem 76 in chapter 9 using week3Statcrunch. The data are shown in the left column here, and this was the reaction times for the dominant hand, and is explained in that problem in the text. To do the bootstrap distribution, first we want to click on StatCrunch, then Applets, Resampling, and Bootstrap a Statistic. And next you will see this menu, so we need to select the column that the data is in, so that's the DOM column. Make sure the mean is selected as a statistic because we want a bootstrap distribution for the mean, and then click Compute. And next you'll see this applet setup. On the left side it shows the data. If I click on data, it will show me the sample data. And it says the mean for our sample is 9.512. On the right hand side of the applet, as we run more samples or construct more samples, StatCrunch will begin to build a histogram of the distribution. So let's click on one time, and in this case StatCrunch takes a resample from the original data, a sample with replacement, and if you click on the number 1 for sample number 1, you can see that sample and see the mean for that sample is 8.4. In the top, StatCrunch shows that sample, mean of 8.4. Doesn't compute a standard deviation here because this is really the standard deviation of all the sample means, and we only have one sample at this point. And then it also computes percentiles, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. So now we want to run more resamples. So I'll click on 5 times. StatCrunch will construct 5 more samples from the without replacement or with replacement from the original data, and plot a histogram of the means of those samples. So now what we have is a total of 6 resamples. The mean of all the sample means is 9.04. The standard deviation of all the sample means, also called the standard error of the mean, is 0.47, and again we have those percentiles. So we want to construct a fairly sizable number of resamples. So we'll click on 1000 times 3 times. We do that, you can see the distribution build. So now we got 2006, one more time. So now we have 3006 resamples. The mean of all the sample means, 9.54. Standard deviation of all the sample means, or standard error of the mean for 3006 resamples, is 0.72. The 2.5th percentile is 8.11, and the 97.5th percentile, for example, is 10.93. We'll talk a little bit later about confidence intervals. The 95% confidence interval is between the 2.5th percentile and the 97.5th percentile. So the 95% confidence interval in this case would be between 8.11 and 10.93. In this case, it's a bootstrap confidence interval. When we get into later chapters, we'll talk about using the t-distribution to construct confidence intervals, and that's a t confidence interval, and we'll compare it to confidence intervals that we got here.